Children of the right way.
Check, check. Now I'm audible. Marvelous. Check, check. I think that looks great. A little bit of light to be enlightened. And let's see if I can switch the camera. No, I cannot. But if I put my streaming laptop over here, I can switch to the desktop. Check. Okay, and you still can see me. And music works. Okay. So what I would love to do is currently getting prepared or prepare myself for another Omni Music video track subscription, and I'm so excited because I'm not used to stream, to be honest. So let me just show you what I was preparing for. And usually it happens that I'm here in my recording studio. I have no clue what I want to do, but I want to do something. And to get started, I organized myself in a Jira board. And it's super techy, I know, it's super nerdy. But I somehow have to get started somewhere. And so, okay, obviously now you see some other things ongoing, but that I don't really care. So I'm planning for the second Omni EP in this year, and there are some tracks that are already in review, some are in progress, and there are some items in to do or some tracks in to do. And I want to focus on getting things done, and I promised Chris Wright from Omni Music to actually send him some stuff today. So let's see if either these tracks are really worth to submit, and secondly, what else needs to be done. So if I check, for example, Electron, I think this track is anyhow already done because it was released on one of the latest Planetary Drift from Ecologies. So these ones here. Okay. And here was the last track. You can see the feature of Mike Renton Electron. So let me show you the track since it's already finished. So there's not much to do. So the way how I'm organized is I'm having here these previous tracks in a Nextcloud, and I just look for Electron in previews. What is the latest master version? looks like this one. Let's listen to it. So that's Electron. It got released already in a small CD compilation done by Arcologies. But let's check the track. I've done this in Bitwig. Still an odd lead, okay. So the track is pretty much done, to be honest. And you can buy this already, but I also want to show you, like, look, when I play this track, like here in the chorus, you can see almost like minus 6 dB. This is how I try to produce tracks and how to get them out of my DAW. Okay, and once you get that, you got that. I have my master project, which is simply like a template I'm doing in Logic for years already. It's a little bit like a, and you see this in a second, 20 Hertz cutoff, high pass filter, and then after that it's also 9. No fancy AI stuff or anything. It's just like the usual ones, like a dynamic. So here, okay. So when I bounce this one, I get the WAV file in here, and look, when I mute this one, it should sound the same, right? It's the same. And that's my mastering chain, by the way. So doing a kind of 22 Hertz cut, and then having here this awesome preset. And by preset, I don't mean that I'm having these parameters set. It's just like the chain of things. Like I start with the low end focus, for example, to check, okay, how about the bass? Is it too much or too low? Should I add some equalizing? But then it's anyhow already too late. So the equalizer here. Tells me something like if I should fix something in the mixing, in the mix down of the track. And if so, then I just go back to my DAW, in this case Bitwig, and I adjust it in the track itself, right? And then bounce it again. And so that can happen that I bounce it like, I don't know, 10 times or so per evening, and having then the mix down in here. And then I start with these mastering settings, right? Like, how could I pimp the bass to adjust the dynamics here? There you see the dynamic hitting in a little bit, a compressor just, and by pimping up the volume as well, and then finally having another limiter on top. So you wonder why I'm mastering the tracks for a label, because you're supposed to having the label, right, to master the tracks. But I think this is wrong. In my opinion, when I produce a track and I send this out to someone, it should be comparable. And I've done some videos on this topic, by the way. It should be comparable to any other track that you just listen to as a producer or as a DJ, right? So I do the best to send it out. And yes, you can have an unmastered version of my track as well if you desire for, if you have a desire for this. But on the other hand, I always try to pseudo or pre-master my tracks, or do a demo master, I call it, of my tracks, and so that you always can just judge how it compares to other tracks, because that's the reality. No one is asking you, okay, the mastering is missing, of course someone is adding his or her mojo on top of it, and then everything will be fine. No. And with Chris, I have the agreement, so he can always have my unmastered versions, but the last couple of EPs he took over my demo masters, because he said they compare pretty good to the masters he has already, and that's fine for him. So he just saves the, or doesn't have to master the tracks anymore, and that's fine. So that's why I think it's quite a good behavior to always send out master tracks as good as you can do. Yeah. So that's Electron. I think the track is done, as you can see. So consider it as a done. Okay. So I just keep it here as a reference. And then here, the next one is Solace. I still love to call it Soleil Sin because I think it's a typo done by Lunasense or me. I don't know, but Lunasense once sent it to me, and oh my god! Before, just check out the track. And I could also show you again the WAV file, but I think this is not so funny. Let me show you the project. Let's close some apps here. By the way, if you have any comments or thoughts, please drop it into the comments of the live stream. I would love to read it. And there I have some laptops prepared so that I can always see the live stream in case someone is writing something. But so far, not many people are interested in my stream, so that's why I'm even more keen on getting questions from the few that are watching. I'm out of beer, by the way. So, by the way, why the Ableton Live setup is opening, I'm running a Mac Pro trash can. I'm not sure how many of you remember this one, but it's a Mac Pro trash can. This guy. Does anybody of you remember this one? Okay, so I'm running this, and this is my recording studio. Next to it, there's my basement room. I call it also machine room, like in Star Trek, right? And it's there because the fan is always filling up, and also the external hard drives and RAID controller, etc., is connected in another room, and I'm running a 12-meter DisplayPort cable. Don't ask me how much this is in inches. And also my audio interface, you don't see it because it's Thunderbolt and it's super tight, so that's why it's in over there. You don't see it on the camera. But my target was to get this room as much noise cancelled as possible. But then you turn on these mixers here, especially this old Yamaha mixer, this one, the 0196, and there's a pretty bad electronic component in there, electric component that I have to replace because it's making noise. And but it's my desire to have a noiseless room to just listen to the sound. So long story short, I have this trash can Mac Pro, and I'm really proud of it still, even though it's pretty slow already. But it has all these connectors. Look at this. Where is that? Here. You have like 6 Thunderbolt connections for USB-C 3, whatever, 3, 2 Ethernet jacks, HDMI, and then I have some other extensions. In the end, for me, this is a machine where I just connect everything in my recording studios, and I'm sick, and I have done this for years, to have a laptop, having a laptop and then connect everything, and you have to update it, and then find a USB hub or so, and I just don't want to have this. And this computer I just bought 6 years ago on eBay for I think 1,000 euro. And since then, this is my music computer, and I don't want to replace it, but it's too slow to run streaming from this machine. That's why I have another laptop streaming the video from this machine to that laptop. And so I hope my recording live streaming setup works today. Okay, but while I was explaining this, Ableton Live loaded the track, so listen to this. So for me, I consider this track as done, to be honest. Let's check if I have a master version already of this one. Yeah, there's a master 2. And again, it's the same preset, it's the same procedure that I just follow. Like I bounce the tracks out of the DAW, try to see, okay, try more or less to focus on -6 dB. And then I imported it into Logic. Help, what's going on here? Okay. Oh, there's lots of headroom. Look. There is something wrong in the mastering setup. by the way, for me, the creative part is like the everything that happens in a DAW, right? So I try to consider when I start a track, it's like a jam session. Like imagine you're a band and you play around, and you might have like in context of EDM music or jungle music or drum and bass, you have the loop that works, and then you do like your arrangement. Then you try to mix it, and once you have your track, you might try to master it. Or what does it really mean? I mean, there's so much confusion ongoing, but at least try to get a track that is worth to listen to. And this is happening for me in this creative process of a DAW. But the problem of being an EDM producer is like you do everything on your own, right? I mean, check out my recording studio here. There are all these fancy keyboards and synthesizers, etc. But I try to help myself with distinguishing between a jam session. So I'm not in the mood of finishing a track. I'm not in the mood of maybe sending some to some label owner or so, or a DJ. I just want to have fun with my toys here, right? So I record this one. Then maybe in the next stage, I try to do an arrangement so that something makes sense, right? It's like writing a novel, I would say. You have like the cycles of interest, for example. And the next thing then is to get it like done, right? To imagine you have the big mixer in front of you, like in the old days, and you do the leveling, right? And the pan and the compression and having all this output gear, etc. This for me is the mixing. And then you try to get it to a level where you say, okay, now for me this sounds great. But to get it comparable, you do the mastering, and this is mastering for me. This is a super technical step, and this is why I even switch DAWs. This is why I even switch to Logic. It could be any other DAW, it doesn't really matter. I have here my preset in here. I just explained a few minutes ago. But for me, once I got the track done and I say, this is awesome now, it's fine. Okay, now I get to minus 6 dB. I bounce it, I load the WAV file into Logic, and then I here have my preset. And then here I have my procedure, like my rituals I'm doing to get a master done. It takes maybe just a few minutes or maybe longer. But just separating these concerns really helps me. And once I have these tracks, I save them into my next cloud. It could be OneDrive, Dropbox, you name it, whatever that is, Google Drive. And I go into my car, and drive around and listen to my car. This is the best reference I can have, to be honest. Driving around in my car and just listen to the amazing loudly, okay, amazing loud, and also maybe also quiet. Then maybe standing there, and then maybe on the weekend driving with my family, with my son, my wife, and into the Alps, and seeing how this bass behaves on the highway in Germany when I drive, I don't know, 180 kilometers per hour or so. That's important, right? And then when I in the company in my office, and I listen to the headphones and I have to develop something, or I don't know, get like stressed out some meeting or whatever, how does the track behave? So I have my masters, my pre-masters ready all the time, and I can listen to it all the time. So for me, this is a procedure of like I turn off my brain and just iterate over it. I try to improve. I check the levels. I try to get it as good as possible. And you could argue this is not a creative process. For me it is, but it's not like the same thing, like the magic that happens in a DAW when I do the jam session or the mix down or the track itself. In my opinion, too many producers are focusing on the first step, like the everything that happens in a DAW, the magic with the keyboards, etc., but not really focusing on the process of like getting things done, getting a track done. And this is why I'm focusing so much on this right now. I would love to show it to you, and also like you see at least 50% of the time right now in the streaming, I'm focusing on the mastering processes. For me, this is how to get a track done. Because also here I see, okay, maybe the bass is too loud, or maybe, I don't know, something is too harsh, or it's too muddy. And then I just go back to my DAW and fix it, you know? Okay, so that's Solacin. And I just realized there was so much more headroom I could push and drive the compressor. So I do another mix down of this one right now. So I'm in the Omni Music 2025 Soleil scene. It's already 11th. First bounce. Okay. PP. Nice comment. Yes. Yeah. Creative drum play, by the way. What I can say there is like, for years I was starting with a plain drum loop, like take an aim and break or any other sample, and you always like try to reprocess it and pre-process it. And what I learned from my mate Proton, by the way, years already back, what he's doing is like having tracks in Ableton Live and then bouncing stuff and then reusing these stems or the tracks or the patches or whatever that is in the next track. And now you could question like, is this really creative or not? And maybe it's destructive also because you process it already. But in the long run, I think it's more like not always starting from zero. I think this is super important. And I try to re-implement his idea. He's doing this for over 10 years already, by the way. We met on our wedding, by the way, from a good friend of us, because we always all went to the same high school class, by the way, in Austria. I implemented the same routine and I call it, let me show this to you. So I'm not just having samples, but I distinguish between libraries. This is something I just downloaded somewhere, or you know, like here Ecology sent me some distorted FX drops. Own samples, eigene samples. I distinguish them between years, which are, you know, the drums, sounds, AI separation these days, obviously. So own samples, I sampled somewhere, right? But then I'm having stem vault. I call this stem vault. And in stem vault, I'm using stuff I did on my own. Check this out. Or here, so those are track lines, and right now technically keep this as wave files. I bounce out of tracks, but it could also be patches in my opinion, but it's stuff I would love to reuse. That's why I call it vault. Yeah, so it's not just an own sample, because for me an own sample is something I sampled somewhere else, but it's something I did and I would love to reuse. Or here from Desired State, one of my tracks. The rights, maybe. Okay, super quiet maybe for you. Stuff I can just copy and paste, and it's my own stuff, yeah. And that's my vault of stuff I produce, and I can just take it over and retweak it, right? Maybe the next step would be not just having in here WAV files, but rather reuse it as patches and so on. But I think once you got there and create your own samples or patches, things gonna explode, in my opinion. Okay, so we have another Solacin master file. Where's that? I just check out. So I go to previews, Omni Music. Then here we have several Solacin. I create an archive folder, by the way. So I place the old one in here. So I always have the latest here. And by the way, I'm using the A in front of the track to show myself this track is awesome. This has to get out. So I'm distinguishing between A, B, C. A is like it's done. It's marvelous. It's making me rich. B is like okay, something needs to be done. And C is like maybe I thought initially like okay, it's an awesome, but maybe yeah. So the 8 tracks, this is what I'm focusing right now because also my Kanban board here shows me there are lots of 8 tracks that are done already. Let's get this done, but it's just like small things like the with the Solicin track. I didn't know that there's so much headroom with the dynamics that I could push up the track. So now this is what I've done. Okay, next one. What is there? Uh, Patterns for lost people. What is that? Patterns for lost people. It's another 8 track. Okay. Rather than opening again a WAV file for lost, let's see if I can find the, yeah. It's still under October. Why not? I should. So by the way I'm structuring stuff I'm producing is like I'm having here my tracks and I distinguish with all these months. Look what I've done in July. So many tracks. August, so many tracks. September, not much. But once I say, okay, let's compile a compilation or an EP, I say this is like going into Omni EP. So it should go in here. So just also when I copy paste this track or move them to an external hard drive or to my archive out of the cloud, by the way, I at least know on my hard disk it's like in a proper location. So again, okay, that's why I was just confused. Like, where is what were you looking for? Patterns for lost people. Yeah. So patterns. And also, when you move around the track folders, it helps a lot to see if you're missing samples. Because in my opinion, samples always should be placed in the DAW folder itself. Because of exactly that reason. Because you want to be able to move them around. Okay. So let's do this exercise now with you guys. So you see here, Patterns for Lost People is a Bitwig project, a Logic project, and an Ableton Live project. So why is that? For me, usually Bitwig is like very good in everything, seriously everything. Okay, Bitwig is the best DAW right now out there, except for several things. One is like drums. Everything that comes to drums, I switch back to Ableton Live. We can talk about this in a second, but and finally, of course, I just explained already why I'm doing my masterings in Logic. Could be anything else, but yeah. But still, the master project always right now these days is the Bitwig project. So let's open it. You're right. After importing all the ingredients into the sequencer, what should I do now? I kept encountering this dead end. The thing is, like, I think we all gifted with a certain amount of creative time and energy, right? So rather than always reopening the project, start from zero, like with this initial amen break I just explained a few minutes ago, think about what is it that you can leverage what you're doing. And for me, leveraging that one is like when I started this stream with you guys, literally I didn't know what I'm doing here right now, but now I have my system. I have my hierarchy on the hard disk where the tracks are. I showed you my Jira board with all the notes. You can just look at what needs to be done, right? So I know where to continue, and this is so much important. The same with like when you start a track, for me it happens as well. I come into the recording studio, do some stuff, and it sounds like shit happens. So I save it and go to bed. But maybe the next I come there, maybe find something interesting in there, and I can continue on this, or maybe not. But with my system of like these folders, the folder structure. By the way, I'm using this folder structure for like almost 20 years. These months, yeah. So I just move it to an external hard drive, and then it's out of my perception. But still I can go back to maybe something interesting I did, but I'm not wasting the expensive space on the SSD of my computer, right? So, but think about a system like how you can leverage your creative time and your creative energy. Okay, what is that? Patterns for lost people. Can't hear anything. Why is that? Ah, okay. System out, left, right. Can you guys hear this as well? Check. Yes. The guitar I can show you. I can switch this, by the way. So let's pause this for a second. I can go here for the camera. By the way, when I'm recording guitars, I'm using this line 6 Beast, and I am having this rack here, plus I'm having the switchboard, or how do you call this, for the line 6 as well. But basically, yeah, it's like this Fender Rhodes from San Francisco that I got from my parents, by the way, when I finished my master degree. And I'm really bad with playing the guitar, by the way, which is a shame, I know. But at least I'm getting the chords and the stuff out of this. So I created some patches on my own. So for famous band you might remember or recall. And there's some other patches as well. But basically I'm using this line 6 just to be able to plug in a guitar and record some stuff and yeah, do things. Then you see here some reverbs, so some old school 90s reverbs. Then here's like see there, the line 6 connected to my Yamaha mixer. And then as an aux effect, I send the signal through, yeah, there you see my second laptop. This one as an FX to the MPX 1000 lexicon, which adds some pitch shifter effects on top of that one. So very often I try to record this one, if not in the last moment, removing it again, because I can do this with non-linear editing enabled in Live or any other DAW as well. But I love to add some fifth or seventh semitones on top of the guitar that I'm recording. So that's why, yeah, you also have this patch bay, and yeah, so you're not seeing this very often in my videos, by the way. And I did some more things with the guitar in the past. I would love to do more. Plus, by the way, there's some other things out here as well. Yeah. So here's like my acoustic guitar, the acoustic guitar of my father from the Eastern Germany, an ukulele, some drum from my wife, some crazy e-bass I have owning. It's not owning, but I'm renting it from a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. There's some other drums up there as well. But that's my recording studio, plus some. I might record this poster. Nice track. A nice movie. Okay, but where were we? Finishing something for Omni Music, you're right. I was just distracted a little bit, so let's put it back again. To be fair, I'm not sure if I'm getting these things done while talking to you guys. So I just explain you like the notes I'm having here. In my opinion, the whole track runs too long, and I have to somehow like condense it, in my opinion. On the arpeggiator, I want to add some flanger or phaser. It's just a minor detail. And I should remove the delay from the arpeggiator. At 1:15, let's see, there's too much going on. What do I mean by this? In my opinion, okay, I could filter it in here, but I think I will do this. No, let's do it right now. Why not? Just get stupid things done, to be honest. Not always shift it to later. Okay, it's like this. Okay, I have this MS-20 filter. I enjoyed so much, by the way. MS-20. I show you why. because it, like initially you have some distortion and some peak going on here. And it just works, so let's get it recorded. Okay. Because I think it adds something more to the arrangement. Okay, so this is done. Bass should be a little bit louder, but just 3 dBs. This is based on my feedback on my Adam loudspeakers. Okay, so let's just implement it. 3 dBs louder. Okay. And finally, cut the arrangement. There's an element missing. Okay, this I won't be able to fix right now, but at least try to cut the arrangement. Because for that track, 630 is too long, to be fair. Let's see where I can cut it. My opinion, it's all we can cut. Okay, let's see. can cut this one. And it's about killing your, how's this called in English? Killing your kids? Killing your darlings? You know, like killing the best parts. We don't have the saying in German, by the way. This was quite radical, to be honest. I'd rather prefer just keep it right now as it is. By the way, this synthesizer, it's just a super simple pigments, by the way. Check this out. This is interesting. This is worth the show, by the way. Where's the pigment? Where's the pigment? Here. So it's a triangle synthesizer, and I was playing around this melody, but I could not decide whether I'm using the, what is it, 1/16th arpeggiator or 1/8th, and I was playing this around or live on the MIDI controller I right now have behind that laptop. So I decided to automate it, and this is where I came up with this, or how I have come up with this super complex pattern. And you see the automation in here. The pattern itself is rather simple. See here? I think it's cool. Okay, but I think anyhow all my tracks are cool because otherwise I would not get a goosebump, by the way, from my own tracks. So I again bounce this out. So the whole arrangement 259, is it really that long? No, I don't believe. Okay, I cut it 193. 193. Okay, bounce it. Save it to downloads. It's just another unmastered track. So then again, the same procedure, and this is my message from today, by the way, for you from today. So in the past, almost a month ago, 5th of October, I did the last mastering. I don't know what I did back then. Doesn't really matter. But I did not really change a lot in the mixdown right now, right? It just changed something in the arrangement with you guys. So I just open again my mastering project. I'm just waiting Bitwig to finish the track bounce. And then I just replace the WAV file in the mastering project. This is why I love to have multiple tools, because I can just, simultaneously use them and use all the benefits from having multiple DAWs. By the way, I like Logic. Just like all other tools are better for making electronic music. But I like Logic, to be honest. So let's wait for Bitwig getting things done. Okay. Just place it here. Ah, super bad cut. Damn. Okay, but this is just... Okay, let's do until 200. Do you have some questions like to the way how I'm trying to finish tracks or EPs or doing my final mastering or anything? Just let me know. And also like what you think of this format, because it's like took me a long time of deciding again to stream to YouTube. I've done this like a few years back, 4 years, 5 years, I don't recall anymore. But I would love to do this more regularly and maybe without any like, how to say, keep the tide low and just stream and show you the process, because in the last couple of weeks I did not produce any video, because for me it was just like getting a video done, and also from job wise and also family wise there was just so many things. But I still would love to contribute to music, and let me just know what you think of this format, because I didn't do this so in the past. Let me know what I can improve or if it adds any value, okay? So maybe I can stream again in a few days and show you some things, because still I'm working on stuff, right? But always producing a video is like a kind of hassle. But still I have some things in the pipeline to what I want to show you, and in the context on the format of a proper video. Bitwig 6 beta, I would love to do so, because I'm expecting a lot from the automation lanes. I'm a super fan of automation, and always like how do you leverage what you're producing. But my problem is this Mac Pro trash can Intel-based Xeon machine dinosaur blood drinking machine crashes with Bitwig 6, by the way. So I wrote Bitwig like, hey, please don't forget me. And for the first 3 betas or so, it just did not work on my trash can Mac Pro. I never tried it on an ARM-based machine, and I have over there another 2018 Intel Mac Pro, which is right now doing the streaming, by the way. But to be honest, if it doesn't work on my trash can, it just doesn't solve me anything and so on. I would love to have it, but so far I just did not have the occasion to do so. And I hope they fix it, because still so far until today, most of the software works on Intel Apple hardware, right? Okay, so now here we have this is my latest mark mixdown. So here, okay, let's cut it here. Do maybe, let's say, 2 seconds of fade out. Cut the project over here. This is like muscle memory for me, by the way. And this is my new master version. So Skybox, let me know what kind of language you speak natively, and also on the second ask is like, check out my videos, because I totally get your point, and you should get the condensed information of stuff I'm doing on my YouTube channel itself, because my target is like to show you guys how to make atmospheric drum and bass, right? So that's my intention. So that's Patterns for Lost People. I keep it right now as it is. Grooving Gear is difficult. I want to skip it for now, because I think it's not in the shape of being in the review. I should rather put it back to, yeah, let's put it back into progress. I think I can't show it right now on the track. It's another collaboration. It's awesome, but there's so many things still to be done. Let me rather focusing on pure Tibet. So while this track is bouncing, I can open the DAW project. It's opening. So I think this track is almost done. Let me know what you think of this one, but I think it just has this kind of magic. A note of mine was that just the drums here and there repeat itself, so I just muted it here. What else? I still have to listen to it in the car if the bass is kicking ass. Let's see. I should use a drum shaper on my Ableton. Okay, let's do so. Like, it's more the focus on the attacks of the drums. Okay. Okay, I think I right now, I mean, sometimes you can also overproduce things in my mind. I just keep it right now like this. So again, bounce it, just getting things done. Just get the hell things done. Let's see if I have a mastering file for this already. Yeah, I have. Okay. Just to see right now, I mean, I could not use Ableton for everything because now Ableton is just focused on one track, right? One project, so I can't open something else in parallel. And I have a 6 CPU monster beast with Xeon CPU, so it's still a workstation, even though it's 12 years old. So I can use this processor in parallel. Just wait for it. What I like now right now is you see a shamelessly unplugged, uncut session of how a Saturday evening for me looks like, how to get things done. It's literally like this, me standing here, drinking beer, producing like minor things that are already so obvious to do and just iterating through the tracks. And once I'm done, I send out the tracks to someone, and then I hope he or she likes it. And yeah, you can imagine, so like the creative sessions with Mojo enabled time in here and so on is important, but this is even more important. Just doing these things, yeah, and like the notes. Most of them I wrote down while sitting in my car or on my headphones or in the subway in Munich and typing it into my mobile phone, right? And say like, I have to get these things fixed, and so let's do it. By the way, something I haven't disclosed on my YouTube channel yet is something new. Let me show this to you. Which is this one. An eMagic Unity 8 MIDI interface. Yay! Because this one is connecting via USB to my Mac, and each unit has an individual dedicated MIDI channel, and I'm using a software right now to try to program the JV 1080 and some others as well, but I'm having issues because I was using an old audio interface of mine for connecting to these devices basically. But right now you get these ones super cheap, but having awesome plain just MIDI, yeah, super tight MIDI messages, and that's why I'm happy to get such a device right now. So check out an eMagic Unity 8 MIDI device, and now every synthesizer, at least of here, has an individual MIDI cable, and I want to connect some of these ones as well. Right now the JP8000 has an USB MIDI interface, another USB MIDI interface. The Mini Brute has an individual MIDI one, and the others are somehow else connected. Doesn't really matter, but I want to connect at least the JP8000 and the JX3P at least also through the eMagic Unity 8. So those are the first world problems I'm facing here right now in my recording studio. But it's also about how do you integrate this kind of 90s technology into today's DAWs, right? Okay, meanwhile, the track breakdown is done. Just place it in here as well. Again here, cut. 2 seconds. And check the levels. Let's bounce it and consider it as done. PewTube it. A new master. Is done. Move the old to the archive. I would call it a day. I walked through almost all the tracks here right now, and yeah, let me know what you think of like seeing a session like this. Is like a typical recording studio session Saturday evening for me, to get things done. And Chris from Omni Music, yeah, I would just prepare another zip file with track explanation and maybe some artwork I have in mind, and send it to him. And I hope he likes it. And I hope you like it even more. And let me know maybe in the comments what you think of that. Maybe in the comments of the streaming. Plus also let me know what you think of this kind of format, because it's completely unscripted what I'm doing here right now. Okay. So my Mac Pro's getting hot. It has 86 degrees Celsius. Don't ask me what this is in Fahrenheit. 400? I don't know. Just hot. Always boiling water temperature. Okay? So talk to you soon. Bye. Wait, before I stop the stream, you're doomed to listen to this track because it's so awesome. Keep trying. Keep trying. Keep trying. Who knows where this sample's from? No one will recognize. Keep trying. Keep trying. Do you read me? Ash, do you read me? Ash, do you read me? Okay, time to go to bed, guys. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.